We're going to try to beat chimps with only melee monkeys, so not a single dart will be thrown this game. We started off with 2 beast handlers in the center of the map. We could have gone with 1 and bot piranha and a microraptor, but getting 2 base handlers seemed easier and gave us a ton of flexibility going forward. After round 6 though, we made our right handler a 0-1-0 and put his raptor in the orange area. This let us pop the balloons all the way through round 10, where we were able to get Pat Fusty with only 2 balloons left on screen. This is nice as he gets the XP from this round and he'll be a solid source of damage going forward. Our 2 hero options were Sauda and Pat, but I thought using Pat Fusty would be more fun as we wouldn't be able to heavily rely on him to get us through the early game. At the end of round 11, we picked up Microraptor on our second beast handler, and between our 2 dinosaurs and Pat, we were crushing the rounds. Not even round 14 stood a chance, and we could afford an Addosaurus for round 15. This thing has more damage and pierce than the Microraptor and can pop lead and frozen balloons going forward. With this, we marched through the next several rounds and picked up a second Addosaurus on 19. But now we're in the 20s and we have to decide what to go next. Camos will be coming soon and the balloons were starting to get far. On round 21, a couple yellows made it all the way to the last pass of our defenses before getting popped, but this is when we picked up an Ice Monkey and made it a 2-0-0 for round 24. This guy can take out the camo green and will freeze other balloons that he attacks, which is super nice because all of our current towers can pop frozen balloons. This worked great and we were back to dominating the rounds, but on 27 I finally decided to merge my beasts. I figured there were enough balloons on screen that having a dinosaur with 20 pierce and 6 damage would be useful, but now it's time to get more camo detection as the 30s are full of those sneaky guys. So we put down a 3rd beast handler and made it a horned owl. I wasn't really sure how much this guy would help outside of camos, but we'll probably be upgrading it in the future anyway. In the middle of round 30, we made our left handler a 0-2-2 and merged the owls together, which lets them pick up to 3 ceramics up at a time. This, combined with our Ice Monkey, was more than enough to take out the camos in round 33, and we were sitting on a chunk of change. But when I started brainstorming what we could spend this money on, there were some questionable melee towers. The first is a spike factory. It places spikes on the track that the balloons physically run into. The second is the monkey village, which doesn't attack at all, just buffs other monkeys. And the third is the top path Mermonkey, as its tentacles smack nearby balloons. I decided not to buy any of them because an argument could be made against them, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. With our money though, we picked up the golden eagle. This guy currently does less damage than the horned owl did, but can pick up way more balloons at a time. Honestly, not a big deal because we'll be upgrading it more later. For now though, we went back to the Addosaurus and upgraded it to a Velociraptor at the end of round 37. This thing started biting through the rounds, but the Moab was quickly approaching. Luckily, we could afford a second Velociraptor right before round 40, bringing its power up to 16 out of 24. And then the Moab came. Between a roar and 2 Pat knockbacks, we popped the outer layer on the second pass, and the golden eagle carried all the ceramics inside back to the middle, where the Velociraptor took them out. From here, I wasn't sure what to spend my money on, so we upgraded the Ice Monkey to a 3-2-0 so it could strip the camo property off affected balloons and started saving money. I wanted to either get a Condor or a T-Rex, but right as we got close to having enough money, we leaked a bunch of camo pinks. I gave it a few tries to save up for a Condor, but we couldn't get enough money from this round. So we got a 0-0-2 horned owl at the back of the track to stop any leakers. This is a super common 2 mega pop strategy, and I thought it'd be fun to use here. If any balloon makes it to the end of the track, the owl will carry it back to the red triangle above it, and the balloons will have to pass through our defenses again. This worked wonderfully and prevented several camos from leaking on this round alone. Then, in the middle of round 48, we could afford the T-Rex upgrade. This is a massive increase in popping power, and it came just in time for the ceramics and Moabs that come in the 50s. It only takes 1 chomp from this guy to take out a whole ceramic, and only a few bites to pop a Moab. But that still leaves us weak to camos, so the next purchase was the giant Condor. Funny enough, even with this extra popping power, we still leaked to the camo pinks on 53. To get past this, we did a little trick to get more out of the Condor. We set its targeting priority to close, and set its stalling spot to as close to the beast handler as possible. This lets its area of effect damage hit more balloons on average, and with this, our owl at the end had less balloons to stop from leaking, letting us pass the round. We undid this targeting for round 54 and started getting more beast handlers. My plan is to get a Paukai, so we need 3 more giant Condors. We got our second one on round 60, just in time for the BFB, and it was able to stall it and the Moabs inside until everything was popped. We got our 3rd Condor on round 68 and the 4th on round 75, right as all the BFBs and Moabs grouped up. We probably would have been fine without a maxed out Condor, but that extra attack speed, pierce, and damage didn't hurt. But now it's time for the big save up. Everything was going totally fine as our Condor and T-Rex could handle everything, but then the ZOMG showed up and it was too big for us to stall. I used the T-Rex's stomp to buy us some time, but then I remembered we can just use Pat Fusty's hug to break it down to BFBs. and that was something we can easily handle, so round 80 was a thing of the past, and we were able to afford the Paukai on round 83 before we faced any more ZOMGs. This will be our main damage dealer of the run, but we'll need something to help take down the bad, and I thought the most fun way to do this is getting an Orca, the single target damage dealer of the Beast Handler. We got a new handler and instantly made it a 3/0/0 while we saved up for the 4th upgrade. It was fun seeing the Great White chomp away at ZOMGs and BFBs, but once we got the Orca on round 89, it started being much more effective, dragging in BFBs and below. Then we went around to all our giant condors and crosspath them with Barracuda to give this Orca more power. I feel like the Paukai and T-Rex could have handled the early 90s without it, but it was fun seeing the Orca drag a blimp into the water from time to time. To get him up to max power, we placed several Great Whites around the pool of water and merged them together. This was amazing as it can now pull ZOMGs into the depths, and we can go around to every Great White and pick up Adasaurus to merge with our T-Rex. We did this in the middle of round 98, and nothing even got close to leaking. In fact, only a few ceramics even made it to the yellow triangle. For round 99, the Paukai was able to stall all the fortified DDTs until popped, and we were on to the bad, the final round of the game. Instantly, the Orca latched on, the T-Rex bit away, and the Paukai attacked from above. I wasn't sure how long this was going to take, but we popped the outer layer right before the water. The Orca dragged one ZOMG down, Pat hugged the other, and the Paukai took out the DDTs. Then everything ganged up on the BFBs that Pat left stunned, letting us win with only melee monkeys. And our reward for this run was a 0/0/1 Beast Handler. How fitting.